Hi, I'm Rob Stenberg. Welcome to another installment of the AMSOIL Information Series. You know, everybody seems to have at least 2 or 3 pieces of equipment that involve small engines, whether it's a weed whacker all the way up to a power washer and everything in between. So we decided to go through the neighborhood to see how many of those pieces of equipment that we could collect, because a lot of times those engines, they get neglected. Let's head into the garage and see what we found. Hey Don, how you doing today?
Good, Rob. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Don Zupek, Technical Service Manager with AMSOIL. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you getting all this equipment for us today. I'm just going to throw my jacket over there. Man, you did a great job of helping us get all this equipment out of the neighborhood. This is wonderful. Don, what do we got here?
Sure, Rob. Well, what we have here is a backpack-style 2-stroke leaf blower.
So what do I need to do to make sure I keep this well maintained so it lasts me a long time?
Well, what you're going to want to do, Rob, is with this 2-stroke application, is you're going to want to make sure that you're addressing the fuel, okay? Both during operation and when you're going to put it away for storage.
Okay.
In fact, we have 2 other leaf blowers here as well that are 2-stroke applications. These are your traditional handheld style leaf blowers. All 3 are 2-stroke, and all 3 have a very specific need to maintenance. Okay. Very small carburetors on all 3 pieces of equipment. And within the carburetor, you have small jets, you have carburetor floats. If the fuel degrades over time, it can cause issues which will end up eventually keeping the piece of equipment in the garage and not out in the yard where it needs to be.
And that can cause some frustration. So what do I need to do to add to the gas? Not only the oil, is there anything else I can put in there to make sure that those carbs stay clean?
Absolutely. First of all, you're going to want to make sure that you're using the appropriate lubricant to be mixing with fuel. Second, during operation, during the time of the season when you're using it, you're going to want to use a quality fuel additive like AMSOIL QuickShot to keep the fuel system and fuel delivery system clean and operating efficiently. Then when it's time to put the equipment away for long-term storage, is you want to treat the fuel with long-term AMSOIL AST stabilizer.
So that way, if I put this away for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, when I take it out next season, what do I need to do to make sure that it is ready to go? I mean,
if you do the preventative maintenance on the front side and you use that as your practice going forward, then you know it's going to be ready to go when it's time to take out of storage. However, some key things you're going to want to look for when you take it out of storage to go back into use is you're going to want to make sure that there isn't anything growing around here. There isn't any nests that some critters are making where there shouldn't be. As well, you're going to want to take a quick look to make sure that the fuel tank didn't leak, that your fuel lines are intact, that there's no cracks, spark plug is intact, quality spark plug, and you should be ready to go.
Well, good deal. Now, are these 2-stroke generators?
These are 2-stroke generators.
Wow.
So not only 4-stroke generators are out there, 2-stroke, which is an important thing to understand.
I've never seen one that.
Yeah, this is a unique piece of equipment. You don't see this every day. This is a 2-stroke generator, which can also be used to charge batteries. A lot of guys will have something like this in their boat, mobile home, RV, what have you, if they have a second battery maybe that they want to keep on a charge. What's unique to both of these, again, they're 2-stroke applications. Very, very small carburetors. If you could see the size of the carburetor on this guy here, pretty small jets. So it is key to keep the fuel delivery system clean, functional, so that the equipment runs for you when it's time to be running.
Absolutely. You want to keep that boat battery charged up well. Absolutely. Now, looks like a couple of chainsaws. What do we got with this one?
So this is a 2-stroke chainsaw. And some things that you're going to want to make sure that you're paying attention to is the bar and chain. You want to make sure that your chain is properly sharpened, kept sharp all the time for a long life of the chain, and that you have the appropriate tension setting on there as well. With the bar and chain, you have bar and chain oil. Bar and chain oil is crucial to the life and the longevity and the operation of the chain. In addition to that, you still have the fuel issue, which you're going to want to make sure that you're treating the fuel during the times that you're using it, as well as long-term storage when you're putting it away. Okay,
so for the long-term storage now, if I put in that fuel stabilizer, I can't just top it off, can I? I've got to run that, is it?
Exactly.
I got to run through?
You're going to want to make sure that anytime you treat the fuel for long-term storage is that you run the fuel through the fuel delivery system, through the carburetor, so that you get that treatment throughout the engine.
Now, it doesn't look like that chainsaw has a fuel delivery system.
No, it doesn't, but it is a chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's an electric chainsaw. And believe it or not, a lot of people have these. What can be overlooked with these electric chainsaws is also the fact that it does take bar and chain oil. People think that they purchase an electric chainsaw, they don't have any lubricants or fluids, and that's not the case. So very, very important piece that is neglected more times than not is to make sure that you have the bar and chain oil level full at all times.
All right, well, that weed whacker looks a lot different than the one that I've got in my garage.
Well,
why is that?
It may be because it, as you did notice, or you mentioned, it is different. It's a 4-stroke application.
Ah.
As you can see here, Rob, it has an oil reservoir.
Okay.
Okay, so this does not take a premix. So you put the oil in the oil reservoir, and your gasoline goes in the gasoline tank.
Now, are a lot of different states looking at moving to these kind of, I mean, I know there's a lot of different industries looking to go to 4-stroke. Are we seeing the same thing in this industry as well?
Like the outboard industry, Rob, the outboard industry has migrated over to the 4-stroke application primarily. And with all handheld or small engine applications, they're following suit with that as well. More and more, you're starting to see more 4-stroke applications replacing 2-strokes.
And if I'm used to having a 2-stroke like I do at home in that application, I move to a 4-stroke, what do I got to keep in mind?
The type of fuel. Make sure that you don't put premixed fuel in here.
Well, we've hit the handheld equipment. Let's head on to the front side of the table and let's take a look at some of this larger equipment.
Sounds good.
All right, Don, let's start down on the end here. Looks like we got one heck of a heavy-duty generator.
Yeah, we do, Rob. This is a heavy-duty generator. You're going to see this type of generator on work sites, construction companies. You're going to see it powering cabins, that type of situation. Again, 4-stroke application. You're going to want to make sure that you're treating the fuel like we are with the 2-strokes the same way.
Right.
This generator, as you can see, has an oil filter on it.
Okay.
So you're going to want to make sure every time you change the oil that you're changing the filter, making sure that the filter isn't leaking in the meantime.
Okay. Now, just a standard pressure washer. You see these in a lot of garages?
Yeah, this is what you're going to see in most people's garages, Rob. Again, a 4-stroke application, very similar to the 4-stroke motor on this generator, a little smaller. You want to treat the fuel, making sure that you're changing the oil at the prescribed interval.
So what's the difference in these two power washers? This one's a little heavier duty, or?
Little heavier duty. Primary difference is that this power washer has a hydraulic pump on the front.
Okay.
Okay, so not only do you have to address the engine, you also have to address the hydraulic pump, making sure that you're using the correct hydraulic fluid, that the level is up, and that there aren't any leaks.
And AMSO's got a great product for that as well. And then here we've got just, it looks like your standard lawnmower, standard tiller.
Exactly. Lawn and garden equipment, both 4-stroke applications. Again, treat the fuel like you would the other pieces of equipment that we talked about, changing the oil at the prescribed interval, making sure that the oil level is maintained.
Now, I've talked to some people where they complain because they say, geez, I have to have this manufacturer's oil for my tiller, this manufacturer for my lawnmower. I got to have all these different oils for all these different engines from the manufacturers. Can we help them out with that?
Yeah, that's the beauty of using AMSOIL. We have one product that will satisfy the lubrication requirements for all of these pieces of equipment.
Nice. So if I want to keep these looking good, can I spray these down with some solvent or something to keep them looking good, keep the rust down?
Absolutely. What you're going to want to do is make sure you're always washing it, keeping the dirt and grime off. Once you have that done, you're going to want to make sure that you spray the blades on the tiller as well as the blade and the deck on the lawnmower with AMSOIL MP. That will keep the blades looking good, operating efficiently, keeping the edge on them, and keeping the rust and corrosion down.
Well, now this little toy looks like, I know it's got a small engine, but it doesn't look like it's for work like the other tools we've looked at.
No, this is a beautiful toy here, actually. It's a mini bike. Again, proper storage, proper use would be making sure you're using the correct lubricant, making sure you're changing the oil at the prescribed interval, treating the fuel, as we've talked about. One other thing on this mini bike here, it's chain driven.
Sure.
It has a chain that's exposed here, Rob, so you're going to want to make sure that you keep an eye on that chain, making sure it's properly lubricated with AMSOIL MP.
All right. Well, it looks like AMSO is a smart choice for any piece of this, any of these pieces.
Absolutely. We've got the solutions for everything.
Hey, Don, thanks a lot. We appreciate you being here today.
Thanks, Rob.
And you have fun putting all this back and getting it all back to the neighbors.
I will.
Have a great time with that. For another AMSO Information Series, I'm Rob Stenberg. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.